Ja, hallo. Wie gesagt,
Yeah,
ich bin
hello.
Katja Berlin. Und,
I'm
ich bin
Katja
heute
Berlin, and
dreimal auf der Bühne,
I will be
über
on
meine
the stage
Torten zu
3
sprechen.
times today to talk about my pies.
Die erscheinen jede Woche Donnerstag im Politikteil der
It's
Zeit.
published every
Und,
week, Thursdays,
ich werde
in the
nachher Torten
politics
zum Thema
part of Seit,
Gleichberechtigung von Männern und Frauen zeigen.
and I will show some pie charts
Danach,
about
zu den Themen
the
Fortschritt, Zukunft
equality
und
of men and women,
Digitalisierung
then
sprechen.
talk a little bit about future and digitization, but I want to start with a bit of a retrospective about topics of the last 7 years.
Deutsche
For
Politik
example,
und
on German
Gesellschaft, was da so
politics,
passiert
German
war.
society, what's happened there.
Kolumne hat 2015 angefangen.
I started this series in 2014, but it started a bit earlier. In 2014, Bernd Ulrich from the editor for the politics section in Seit asked me if I didn't want to publish my funny infographics with them every week. And even before that, I published a few books with funny diagrams. I like the idea to be in the newspaper every week, and I immediately agreed, and then didn't move for weeks. I kind of ghosted him a little bit because I was so anxious. I was afraid whether I would be able to come up with something funny every week, whether enough things would be happening in Germany that I can create a pie chart every week. And like I said, this was at the end of 2014, and then when I finally forced myself to do it and said, maybe I'll just do a joke about FDP, the Liberal Party, every week. That's when the year 2015 started. And 2015 was a special year in many respects, but especially a very horrible year. Thousands of people drowned in the Mediterranean, and in the meantime, in Germany, we had concerned citizens getting more and more attention. You might remember this, where people would say, I'm not a Nazi, but... And this is how it started. The populism on the right was blooming, and a lot of topics that I had to concern myself with came up. For example, the thing about cancel culture. It's a term that didn't exist back then when I started with my series, but the idea already existed, and it was just as wrong as today. This is my graphic from that time. What right-wing populists say, where right-wing populists say that they cannot say anything anymore in online media, in newspapers, in talk shows, in books, in magazines, in conferences, in public fora, on the radio, and in public demonstrations. The German AfD, the right-wing party, back then didn't want just the Deutsche Mark back, but also many other things, and they did this in a combination of hubris and victim role, self-victimization. And I visualized what their image of Germany looks like. The picture of Germany that right-wing nationals have. On the one hand, it's the greatest country of all time with a 1,000-year history, but also it's going to die very shortly because of a few refugees and some wolves.
And so the right-wing party AfD became part of the German parliament in 2017, mainly because they went away from what we commonly consider true. So I made a diagram about what right-wing populists consider secure or safe, and those charts show Syria, Afghanistan, Somalia, and German inner cities after 2200 or 10 o'clock at night. So there's a few things that we thought that we would have left behind, and our Minister of the Interior was making jokes about putting refugees on planes to get them back home to Afghanistan. And we have many of those cases of isolated incidents within our security organizations and the law enforcement. And thus I made a topic about where National Socialism is a topic way too much, and the college show in school, in university, and in police chats.
Ja, aber auch die sogenannte bürgerliche Mitte.
But yes, also
zum Beispiel
the
Feindbilder,
middle, or what they consider the center, the political center, was subject to my ridicule. So this shows what conservatives are mostly annoyed at. It used to be immoral people and other things, and today it is moral people instead, and very little others. But they also have an inclination for denial. If something looks like racism, sounds like racism, and feels like racism, then it must be either our chancellor's fault, a misunderstanding, an invention of the press, a legitimate worry, a distraction from left-wing or far-left violence, or basically someone calling you a Nazi. Also, another topic that they were really worried about is the gendered language. There was no TV program without gendered namings or phrases. To summarize it, it looks like this. Who brings up the topic of gender or gendered language? It's the feminists, or the conservatives, all in different forms of gender. For this topic, scientific results or something like this didn't play in a very big role. It's less about how language is being interpreted and what that does with you as a human. It's more about how you feel about this problem. German words where readability is supposedly a problem. So this is a very, very, very long, complicated German words, and then the gendered word for citizens.
Well, even without Donald Trump in Germany, fake news are a really important topic for us, and they have a big impact on political happenings, but also on people. Nowadays, we know that believing constitutions isn't the case anymore. That was like that 2015, where I made this diagram. The believability of politics, of science, and the Andy on Facebook.
Ja, und der Versuch, auf Fake News mit Fakten zu reagieren, also
if you try to react with facts on fake news, and if you want to go ahead with reason, it wasn't really successful. This diagram shows what anti-vaccine people are immune against. It's measles, mumps, and arguments. With Corona, there was the next big topic, because from 2020 on, we didn't only have a virus epidemic, but also disinformation pandemic. And we thought, okay, it's not the case anymore that we can discuss on the internet. Corona was supposed to split the community, but on this topic, there wasn't any closeness together in society. 2020, the pandemic, the war against pandemic, was like, what the fuck? The German Corona school strategy for fall was toi toi toi.
That basically means good luck.
Yeah.
Jetzt ist ja Corona vorbei.
Corona is over, as we all know.
Sollte es im Herbst wiederkommen?
If it comes back in fall, it's kind of surprise, yeah.
Um die Klimakatastrophe kümmern.
Until then, we can take care of the climate crisis. Climate support was really important in Germany. Many parties want it, but it's not supposed to cost anything. And this is my pie chart for this. And Germans think that stuff has to happen without forbidding anything. nowhere, really nowhere, when it comes to climate safety. And this shows the level on which the discussion runs at the moment. It's too expensive. I mean, you know the cost argument, but what's going to cost us a lot? Climate politics and no climate politics.
Ja, also das Kostenargument zieht nicht mehr richtig.
The cost argument isn't there anymore. It's even about more than just money. What destroys the landscape is photovoltaic, wind energy systems, and the climate change to 1.5 degrees. And the war in Ukraine shows what's wrong with this, with the world at the moment. It doesn't look like it that I'm out of topics soon, but I can still count on the FDP. It's the base of the liberal.
Katja Berlin.
Yeah.